Twisha Christian back with a video. I'm going to give you guys an update on my thoughts on what's going on in Iraq, what's going on with the oil markets, uh, events that I'm still looking for. Because what's been going on over the last few days, over the last week, has been pretty crazy. And with the whole thing with the virus going on, the economy being basically almost at a standstill, I believe now that we are getting closer and closer to the global currency reset. Now, I still think there still has to be pieces put in place that will lead us to the beginning of the global currency reset. And for those of you who have been in this for a long time, you guys need to keep in mind that the dinar RV is only the beginning, right? I know many of us, many of you, are tired. You're waiting and waiting and waiting, and we're very close for all this to take place. And this cannot go beyond 2020. If this goes beyond 2020, that would be absolutely insane. So I have my chart up here, and I'm just going to be discussing certain things. But one of the first things I want to discuss is the oil markets. And I've been listening to Johnny from Currency 365 for a long time, and as he's always said, that oil has to basically crash, and here we are. So I know when he saw that, I know when it happened, that he was happy about it, not happy that the oil crashed and people's jobs are could be affected and everything, but this is a sign, an event that's leading up to the global currency reset. So this is huge. This is huge. It's just another piece to the puzzle that is now in place. And now it's like, okay, so what is Iraq going to do? They don't even have a prime minister. But where Iraq is right now, and with the way that the oil prices are right now, how is Iraq going to survive? And all it does is it puts a lot of pressure on Iraq to revalue their currency, because they're running out of options. So I think that is a good thing. That's a good thing for the dinar RV and the beginning of the global currency reset. Because you do know that when the dinar RVs, that is the beginning. And there's going to be so many investment opportunities that come after that you'll be able to get into. We talked about the VND, we talked about the Thai baht. There's going to be a lot of currencies, because when that happens, that everybody's going to be going out to try to get these other currencies. So it's only the beginning. Now, if the RV, now you got to keep in mind, we're still under a fiat system, right? There hasn't been no announcement to transfer to another system, or that we're going to a gold standard. So if there is no announcement or anything that is done before the RV, right, and then the RV takes place, we have to be very careful. Now, during the RV or on RV day, when things begin, you might see some announcements that they're going to a new system. What Kim Clement said, there would be a break in the system. And then, of course, the banking system, that there's going to be a break within the banking system. Discuss that. But we also have to see the banking system fall. That is another event, is seeing the central banking system implode. Now, of course, people are saying, well, Trump is just bleeding the central banking system dry and trying to crash the central banking system. Now, of course, he doesn't have to do that, because the system was already falling apart well before the virus. And all this did was just speed up the whole entire process. So now all these central banks are pumping, trillions of dollars into the markets, trying to keep it up, afloat, and going. When the banking system falls, the stock markets should fall. They should both fall hand in hand together. All right, so out of all this, folks, just be very careful on your investments. I've always said the dinar is the best investment you can have, as far as for if you're just holding on for long term. But what I'm trying to do with like some of the stocks and cryptocurrency and other things that I'm into, I'm trying to that I can make more money so that I can invest more into the Iraq dinar, and invest in some of these other things that haven't taken off yet. Because some of these, when they announce that they're going to a gold system, what do you think is going to happen when to a lot of the mining companies, a lot of the stocks in the mining companies are going to start to go up? So there are going to be investments, but will that opportunity come before or after the RV? Just like the BB stock, we look at Zion Oil. What if Zion Oil doesn't make their announcement till after the RV? Or if they make their announcement before the RV, guess what? All those, if you've taken the time out to invest in here and there into Zion Oil, I've always said that you should. You know, I'm not a financial advisor, but that's what I'm doing. So if Zion Oil does make their announcement before an RV, you know, I could take some of my stocks and reinvest into currency. But see, I'm not selling all my Zion Oil stock. I've just been slowly building it up, and some of it I can use to when it does go up to $5 or $10. I could take some of it and sell some of it, but I'm really looking for the long term when it does reach up to 100 and maybe even beyond that. Because right now, the way that the oil markets are working, if you shut down OPEC and you break it apart or you do whatever to minimize their strength, that just benefits the United States and Israel. Now, as we go around the circle, you know, folks, if it wasn't before this event that took place, we always knew that the stock markets were going to fall because of the debt. And everything that we're doing above and beyond, all these stimulus packages, you know, all this money going into the markets, you know, for small businesses and apparently now large businesses who took advantage of the small business loans, you know, all that money, you know, that just adds, a lot of that money just adds to the national debt. So all that money that is going out, eventually it's going to have to be repaid. Dealing with that, we talk about Kim Clement's Simple Stone. And I'll probably do a more in-depth video on this, but of course Trump authorized the signing of moon mining and asteroid mining and everything, so now they can start mining materials in space. Now how that's going to affect, I think they're going to keep that market separate from the mining market here on Earth, because that would be the best way to, that would be actually be the best way. But Kim Clement said the one stone, you know, it's wipe out all the debt. Heck, if you think about it, if some of these asteroids are worth quadrillions worth of dollars, you can make every American a multimillionaire. But I don't think they would ever go that far. I mean, come on. Really, throughout all this and how the common American has been treated, despite all the Fed's trillions of dollars going into the markets, and how the common person is just, they're always, it just seems like they're always going to be left out. And right now, they are. People like you and me, we're being left out of the system that's gaining trillions of dollars that are going into executives' pockets, and everything else is totally crazy. Now, I haven't heard anything too much on the gold standard, but I will say this, that if they ever announce some type of gold standard, maybe it doesn't include, it's not all going to be backed by gold, but it could be just like all their natural resources, their mining resources, you know, whatever. I think a lot of the mining stocks are going to go up. Now, when it comes to the crypto markets, I'm shooting for XRP. That's what I'm doing right now. And if for those of you who don't, you can get it off Coinbase. The link is down below in the description. But I've always had XRP. I've always invested in XRP, and I actually try to mine it too for a while. But I think now we're at a point to where I think that's going to be one of the big ones that is going to take off. If you look at some of my earlier videos, I have discussed XRP a little bit. But I think going back and looking at news articles and what Pimpy is saying about XRP and what Johnny from Currency 365 has said, that's just one of those that I'm just going to go ahead and just, you know, start putting in more than what I currently have now. But I'll also say that I believe that it will go on a final run. Bitcoin and some of the other bigger coins, XRP, there might be a few others that will go on a run. But then after that run, I believe a lot of coins are going to fall flat. I believe Bitcoin is going to fall flat. So that's why if you're already in and you're in now, and there's going to be a point in time, at some point down in the future, whether it's before the RV or after the RV, there will be a point in time that you will have to sell. It's definitely a lot of the cryptos are not, in my opinion, are not good for long-term investments, especially if we're going to be going to a new financial system. Going to a new financial system could cause the collapse of the cryptocurrency. Not saying all of them, but there's a lot of cryptocurrencies that shouldn't even exist right now. So going back to Iraq and the oil issues, like I said, with the price of oil, it's going to force Iraq, their prime minister issue. If a body does get in there somehow, some way, then I know that the timing is close. It could happen anytime under this guy whenever he forms his government and does all that. But we may not be just there yet, but we are very close. Some of the other events that I am looking for, and I've already been seeing them, and we've been dealing with a lot of the mass arrests, and they have been going on. And, some people have alluded to a lot of the CEOs and stuff, CEOs stepping down. Different executives at banks and stuff have stepped down, and there might be a lot to that, but I think one of the main things is seeing those people that are connected to the deep rooted corruption, and a lot of that deals with the Epstein, because a lot of people who were involved with him, they're in the political arena, they're in the Hollywood arena, and they're in the banking industry. And I think behind the scenes, especially since his rearrest, you're seeing a lot of things are going on behind the scenes. And I think a lot of people are being forced to step down from their positions without being outed in the media, at least right now. Because I think that would cause, if there have already been CEOs that have stepped down because of the Epstein, right? There's at least 2 or 3. And there's all these different people that are involved. You're talking about like people like Bill Gates, the Clintons, and just like many people that we haven't even heard of that are in powerful positions. And I think that could cause, when that information does start coming out, I think that could cause some type of drop in the stock market. But I think that if what people are saying, that a lot of the CEOs that in the last year that have stepped down would have been involved with Mr. E. So all those people have been replaced with whoever they replaced him with. And so most of the people that are now in place, because I still look for certain CEOs of certain companies to step down, like Twitter. We saw Bill Gates step down from the Microsoft board. But I think that would definitely doing that behind the scenes, so it's not out to the public yet, would have had more of an effect on the stock market if you were actually arresting CEOs involved with Mr. E. And of course that would cause, stock market to drastically fall if all of a sudden all these CEOs were getting arrested all at once and being paraded around on TV. So I think it was to safeguard the economy in that way. Because once you find out what's really going on, if you guys really do your research on Mr. E and all the things that they're involved with, they were obviously planning something, and I think part of that is what we see today, what's going on with the virus. But we still haven't seen that yet. And regardless, it may come before the RV or after the RV. Either way, people talk about confiscation, so regardless if, a lot of the corruption around the world has been removed. I could probably sit here and just flash articles every 10 seconds for an hour of all the arrests made and all over the world when it comes to corruption in the banking system or just like government officials, etc. I could just show you tons and tons of articles. So it has happened, and it is continuing to happen. But I think a lot of those revelations could have hurt our markets if they had done it out in the open. So maybe the President of the United States has taken that route, and saying we're doing all this stuff. We're going to tell the CEOs they have to step down. They can give whatever reason. Whatever happens after the revelations to those individuals, I guess that remains to be seen. So I don't know how many of you guys, I know a lot of you people out there, you're frustrated, but be patient. The way this thing is playing out right now is all leading up to the beginning of the global currency reset. So if you think you're tired now, wait till you get your, for those of you who actually care, because some people might have like 20 million worth of dinar, right? You might not care about any other investments. You say, you know what, I'm taking that. That's enough for my family. That's enough for me to retire. That's enough for my kids when they grow up. That's enough. And you don't even care about it anymore. And you're just waiting for that one event to happen, and then you're done. And some of you might go get some other currencies after you do that. But there's a lot of people that don't have as many dinars as somebody who's holding 5 or 10 or 20, million worth of dinars. Some people only have 100,000 or 50,000 or 500,000 or even just a million. And the whole goal is to take what you have and to multiply that safely. And that's why I've always advocated, get ready that when you exchange your dinars, you're going to be purchasing your Vietnamese dong and other currencies, because you're going to flip that. I don't know if some of these industries that Kim Clement talked about, he said that God will release them one at a time. So that means when the dinar RV, that's one of those wells, that means there's going to be other wells that you will be able to invest in that are going to take off. And I think once they start going, I think we're getting ready to get into an age of prosperity, right, over the next several years. Now, a lot of you will be able to take what you have from the dinar or other investments, and you'll be able to just keep flipping it and flipping it and flipping it. And some of you will be able to take your 10 million dinars and quadruple that into 40 million. And see, that's what I aim to do, and that's what I want some of you who don't have that much to do, is be able to do that. Now, some of you may take some of your stimulus check. You do whatever you feel. You make sure that you take care of your bills first. But I know some of you have already said that you're going to buy more dinar. You don't have enough. This might be your opportunity to do that. But make sure that your bills are taken care of first before you do any kind of investing. So that's what it's about. It's about taking what you have and multiplying it. Right? So if he's going to release one at a time, you're going to have many opportunities. And think about it, like the BBB stock, if that has not taken off before the dinar RV, just think about the type of money that you will be able to invest into that company once the RV takes place. You'll be able to take 1,000 of it, put it into the company, and then you just wait for the gold standard announcement, and then all these mining companies will go up. A lot of them will go up. Now, there are rumors that there is a gold shortage. So you guys want to look that up, look up gold shortage, but there are just rumors and speculation that there is a shortage, or there could be a shortage of gold. So folks, this is where we're at right now. We're waiting for other events to take place. It could pop anytime. There's a lot of uncertainty that's going on right now. There's a lot of political infighting. Guys, avoid watching like the politics of this thing, because whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And it's all leading up to one thing anyway. We can blame whoever for whatever, but now's the time for one, to keep yourself safe, but two, just be patient, because we are close. Anyways, guys, thanks for listening. Check out my Zion Oil video. And with that being said, Twisted Christian out.